Where is it? Where's the rest?
What?
The money, Skylar. Where is the rest? Skylar, where is the money?
What's going on, guys? Matthew back again, this time for another political video. And unfortunately, I have bad news regarding our tax dollars and how it's being spent on funding terrorism. Shout out to my aunt for sending me this video. Let's get into it. Okay, and this is the Sean Ryan show. It was sent to me by my aunt, and she wanted me to check out a specific section of this regarding the money that we're sending to the Taliban, and supposedly we're sending anywhere from $40 million to $87 million a week to them. And I'm going to let him introduce his guest here.
Syria, Afghanistan, where the funding is, where the bills are and stuff with the federal government to I guess, what do we call it, defund the Taliban for the 40 to 87 million we're sending them a week through various NGOs.
I'm also going to turn on the captions so you can see it. That's crazy, 40 to 87 million a week.
And, talk about...
And he said it's through various NGOs. I had to look up what an NGO is, a non-government organization. And if you cannot see, because of the captions, what their credentials are, let me turn it off so you can see. This is Legend. He already said he can't show his face. National Resistance Front, former U.S. Army Intel, and I guess Vets for NRF is where he works.
Former Army Intelligence, Sarah, former CIA.
Yeah, Sarah Adams, like he says, former CIA targeter, author of Benghazi, Know Thy Enemy, SRS newsletter contributor.
Analyst, former CIA targeter. Scott, former Green Beret, and
Scott Mann, Green Beret, like you said, best-selling author, and then of the book Nobody Is Coming to Save You. But we're mostly going to be listening to that Legend guy who we cannot see his face.
All right, we're back from the break. We were just talking about the funding. Is it stopping? Where's it at? What are they using this funding for?
A lot of things. Well, let me first tell you how the Taliban profit from this money, if you let me.
And Taliban. So, I have your average American citizen knowledge on the different factions of Afghanistan. It feels like there's a million of them. And then this is according to Wikipedia, an Afghan political and militant movement with an ideology comprising elements of Pashtun nationalism and the Deobandi movement of Islamic fundamentalism. It ruled approximately 75% of Afghanistan from 96 to 2001 before it was overthrown by an American invasion after the 9/11 attacks carried out by the Taliban's ally, Al-Qaeda. The Taliban recaptured Kabul in August of 21 following the departure of coalition forces. That was when Biden had us pull out of Afghanistan in humiliating fashion. After 20 years of Taliban insurgency, and it now controls the entire country. The Taliban government is not recognized by any country and has been internationally condemned for restricting human rights, including women's rights to work and have an education. And that's important. That'll come into play later with what Legend has to say regarding the restriction of human rights, including women's right to work and to have an education.
The money basically goes from the U.S., cash $40 million a week, to Soleimania and Iraq. Cash is loaded on charter planes and it arrives at Kabul International Airport, which is under the control of Sirajuddin Haqqani. From there...
And I have no idea. He said, I know the caption said 4 million. He said 40. So we're sending 40 million a week. And I'll do the math real quick. So that would be $2.080 billion a year of our money. So when you get your paycheck and you see that little, or not little, but that amount of money taken out to go to the government, this is where it's going. $2.080 billion a year. And we're trillions of dollars in debt.
The Central Bank of Afghanistan is currently managed and run by Nur Ahmad Agha, a sanctioned terrorist who was sanctioned by the United States for financing bomb attacks against American soldiers, which killed many American soldiers. He's still sanctioned, and he gets $40 million at this point. And then the Afghanis are given back to the Afghanistan International Bank, which then deposits the money into the bank accounts of these NGOs. Now, there are about 2,500
And remember, NGO is non-government organization.
or so Afghan NGOs and about 300 international NGOs, including American NGOs. Now, these Afghan ones, every last one of them, they're licensed.
Yeah, that means money's going back to Americans, crooked Americans, who, for all we know, are the same Americans who are agreeing to give this money to them in the first place. So it could just be money circulating to all these evil people, whether they're American or Afghani.
Now, who did they distribute the aid to? To a list of hungry and poor Afghans provided to the NGOs by the Taliban. So the list will have 5 poor and hungry Afghans, and then it will have 95 Taliban fighters, families of suicide bombers receive aid. This is all from U.S. tax dollars.
I'm just curious, is this coming through USAID?
Yes,
And
yes.
so is it a matter,
And if you don't remember what USAID is, that's where Elon Musk Doge recently found where they had a lot of fraud and abuse when it came to how they were spending their money. And USAID doesn't even stand for what you would think it stands for. Considering it says USAID, you would think like, okay, this money is going to help people that have infections or just need medical attention, anything like that. Let me look up what it actually stands for real quick. Yeah, so I covered this in one of my other videos previously. It stands for U.S. Agency for International Development. So, things like trying to spread democracy across the globe, when really it's about what he just mentioned, circulating this money to different people's pockets and everybody just kind of divvying up our taxpayer dollars, going to like terrible people that want to bomb civilians.
You will see a lot of stuff coming out about this and related to Afghanistan and USAID, Sean. See, in Bamiyan province, which does not have a lot of Taliban support historically, USAID would go and distribute the aid. You will see the logo of USAID all over. And Mr. Saleh exposed this. His intelligence exposed this. So these NGOs affiliated with USAID, they would distribute the aid to the people there alongside the leader of the Taliban, one of the commanders for
And don't forget, he said that they list hungry people and injured people, but he said like 5% of the people getting this aid are the people that actually would need it, and the other 95% are fighters and people that are willing to blow themselves up to kill children.
for Bamiyan province. And they would distribute the aid not in the name of the generosity of the American people or in the name of Joe Biden. They would distribute the aid in honor of Mullah Hibatullah and the Taliban.
Yep.
In Panjshir, they're still doing that. In Panjshir province, which, as you know,
So think about that. They're giving this money to these people, our money, and then not letting them know it's our money. And when I say our money, I'm not talking about American money. I'm talking about individuals like me and you. It's our money, and they are giving it to these people, and then telling them that they're the ones providing it, so that they can gain their loyalty and make themselves look good.
has zero Taliban. They are pro-resistance. They're sympathetic towards the resistance. What the Taliban does is they go with this NGO called Ansar, which operates in Panjshir province and Andarab province, Andarab Valley. They will go to this house and there's a lineup of Afghans and widows. And they have envelopes with $200 cash per family, per poor family. And they will tell them, hey, Mr. Panjshiri, during the days of the Republic, did those infidel republics that were puppets of America, did they ever come and give you aid? Unlike them, see, the leader of the Taliban loves you so much, he's giving you aid, he's sending you money. The U.S. aid, U.S. cash in Afghanistan is distributed in honor of Mullah Hibatullah, not in the name of the generosity of the American people. Even U.S. aid packages that go to Afghanistan, the U.S. flag is missing from it. See, in Latin America and Africa and elsewhere around the world, when U.S. aid is distributed, aid packages, there's always an American flag with a message from the American people. Not in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. They do not want people to know that this aid comes from the American people. They say this aid comes from Mullah Haibatullah.
Well, I think what I'm kind of alluding to here is maybe if we get Doge's attention, then they focus on this.
Well, not exactly, because so even if you dismantle USAID, they move key programs then to the State Department, and it's managed and run by the State Department. So unless the State Department is told to stop funding the Taliban, that money will not stop. Doge will not stop that money because now it's under the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. And again, that's going to take congressional action. Doge is not going to stop this
Congressional action. And you've always heard people say, like, let's say they're talking about something that they don't think could ever really be done. They're saying, oh, it's going to take an act of Congress to get that done because, you know how slowly Congress acts, and when they do, nobody's ever happy. So congressional action, that's going to be tough, and it's going to take Speaker Mike Johnson to have to do this. He's going to have to call this out and call for a vote. And they also like to try to, anytime they vote on something or pass a bill, anything like that, they always try to like add additional things that have nothing to do with the topic at hand. So I'm hoping that I hope that this will get to Mike Johnson and that he'll put this to a vote in Congress, and that hopefully it'll pass the House, and then it'll have to pass the Senate as well. Luckily, the Republicans control both of those, but how many of those Republicans are crooked?
money we're talking about.
How do they stop the other stuff then?
The other stuff is more like small grants and stuff.
I don't know if it's small.
Well, no, but I know, but I'm like, this is a systematic deal set into place that Congress has to demand, and that's why Burchett's doing it. Congress has to stop this money.
Okay.
Period. I mean, maybe they'll stop. There's a few little projects. USAID has this hemp project in Afghanistan. Stopping that'll be great, and hopefully Doge finds that one, etc. But it's not going to curb this. And then, then we have the counterterrorism dollars, which I'll explain when he finishes the humanitarian dollars, because that's a whole nother pocket.
Gotcha.
And they were sending money. USAID was sending money to Afghanistan to teach women. I think they paid $60 million to teach Afghan women farming. The Taliban don't even allow Afghan women to leave their homes.
That was the Department of Defense that did the $60 million. That wasn't the USAID.
Under Operation Sentinel.
So the Department of Defense is also giving the Taliban money that nobody discusses. But like he said, last year, they said they gave $60 million for women's education when women can't go to school.
Right. Remember what we said earlier. Yeah, the Taliban government is not recognized by any country and has been internationally condemned for restricting human rights, including women's rights to work and have an education. But now they're trying to say, oh, we're giving them $60 million for women's education, when clearly it's not going towards that. So it's just going to the pockets of these evil people.
$11 million for the Taliban to register their broken arms.
So we don't just have a problem with USAID. We don't just have a problem with State Department. We have a problem with the money the Department of Defense is giving to the Taliban. We have a problem with money CIA is giving to the Taliban. And we have to be honest about all these pockets of money, because you can't stop them if you don't discuss all of them.
As we say, Sean, this has to be an act of Congress. This has to be no tax dollars for terrorists act,
yes,
which I once again call on His Excellency Speaker Mike Johnson to put it up for a vote. Let members vote on it. This needs to stop.
Okay, so we're going to end it there. I don't want the video to run too long or get copyright struck, but this is the Sean Ryan Show on YouTube. This is SRS number 184, episode 184, with these three people that he talked to. And this is obviously very important information and something that needs to be quickly reported to Mike Johnson. He might already know about it. Hopefully he's not involved in it. But if we could get Elon Musk or any of those people that are in charge of Doge to talk about this, like she said earlier, Doge couldn't really do anything about this because it would take an act of Congress. So we really need Mike Johnson, and I guess just contact your representatives and let them know that we want to completely stop all of this funding for the Taliban and any other people associated with terrorist organizations, because this is absolutely ridiculous. $40 to $87 million a week, not a year, a week. What did I say? $2 billion a year? That's crazy. $2 billion, $80 million a year. But yeah, contact your representative. Let them know that this has to stop. I couldn't believe this when I heard it, especially the amount of money and the amount of things that we could use that money for. The drug issues we have, the border issues, everything we have. I mean, even down to like roads being fixed. But that's the video, guys. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me on anything. And please, if I have any gaps in my knowledge regarding this issue, fill me in respectfully in the comments below. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.